When I worked as a van driver for these people, great job. I actually really loved that job. But it's not where I thought I would be, and it was a case of how the hell did I get here? And I used to have to get up very early in the morning, about 3:30, and I would drive for about an hour to get to the depot. And I would sometimes pull over in the middle of the forest. I had to travel through Ashdown Forest, which is a huge, big national forest. And I would pour myself a thermos of coffee, or a cup of coffee out of my thermos, and I would basically have to give myself a few minutes just to pace up and down. And I would pace up and down, and I would say to myself over and over again, what the fuck am I doing with my life? What the fuck? How did I get here? And then I would get back in my car, I'd finish my coffee, I'd drive to the depot, and I'd do a shift driving a van, delivering groceries to people all over the south of England. And as much as I loved that job, there was a big, deep sense of discontent that this was not the life that I had designed for myself. Not even that. This is not the life that I wanted for myself. Problem is, half the time I don't know what life I wanted. I'm interested in lots of things, and I don't know what life I wanted for myself. Just turning around so you can get that beautiful sun behind me there. It's gorgeous, isn't it? But yeah, so I was deeply discontent. And you know what? Most mornings when I wake up, I still feel like that. I went on this kind of journey of transformation where I stopped looking to the outside world for things that would make me happy. You know, this whole idea of I will be happy when something happens. And I started just focusing on my meditation practice and things like this. Basically, I'd kind of inadvertently discovered mindfulness and meditation. And I realized our philosophy should not be like, I will be happy when something happens. It should be more along the lines of, I will be happy and then something will happen. And that's what happened to me. I learned through this little practice to let go of all the things that were holding me back, which I thought were goals, but actually were becoming obstacles of me getting anywhere. You know, I was determined to be a world-class photographer, and it just wasn't happening. I'm not a freelancer. I don't have that kind of salesman aspect to me. I was always trying to do a good deal, and I ended up doing myself out of business and became very frustrated, very bitter, and ended up driving a van for a living. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like I said before, some of the most talented, intelligent people I've met were driving vans for a living. I met a chap who was he was studying to be I can't remember if it was a chemist or a vet, one of those two things. I met another chap who used to run airports all over South America. But when he came back, couldn't find any work, so he was driving a van for a living. I met some intelligent, inspiring, and interesting people doing that job. So before you judge the man who delivers your parcel from Amazon or wherever, or Ocado in this case, don't be quick to make assumptions, because every time I walk past a homeless person on the street, I always think to myself, there but for the grace of God go I, because we're only a few paychecks away from that. We're only a bit of bad luck away from that. It can happen to all of us. But anyway, so where was I going? So this whole idea of wanting to be somewhere else that I wasn't. And I've had it my whole life. I've always had this kind of quest for meaning, for purpose. It's like, what the hell am I supposed to do with my life? I remember when I was freelancing as a photographer, there were times where I was so broke, I used to think, what the hell am I doing with my life? And I used to think to myself, this would all be so much easier if I didn't have to wake up tomorrow. All the pain would go away. But, too much of a coward to actually act on those negative thoughts, thank goodness. But, so there's this whole thing, how did I get here? What do I do now? And sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves to find the thing that we're supposed to do now that we forget to live and forget to enjoy where we are and forget to wonder at the amazement of the world. When I drove for Ocado, I saw so many sunrises and so many beautiful sunsets. There were times where I'd take my break, I'd be parked in a country lane somewhere, and it would just be me and the stars for company. And there are times where I've been in the middle of the city and I've seen amazing things, I've met amazing people. Everywhere we turn, we are blessed. And even on our darkest days, we are really blessed. Sometimes, we don't have to keep striving to be better or to be somewhere else or to be someone else. Sometimes we just need to let go, because those things that we're holding on to so much actually have a hold on us. And when we let go, it's like my black dove analogy. This dove is pecking away at us, and all we have to do is let go, open our hands and release our grip and let it kind of free, let it soar away. And you never know, it might lead us somewhere beautiful. So that's my practice for the moment, just learning to let go, because I'm feeling under a lot of pressure and it's all coming from me. I just got to learn to be happy where I am, and perhaps we can all learn to be happy where we are too. All right, it's a bit of a rambling one again. Don't really know what the purpose of that one was. I hope you enjoy it. I hope there's something in there that you can take away. Sometimes it's good just to chill for a bit.